Hey guys, it's Krystal Lee Moore Lucier here, also known as your home sweet home 519 Realtor, Krystal Lee Moore. This is Realtor Life, and guys, I am so excited about today's guest. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Absolutely. So Amanda Laporte owns Hamilton Hypnosis. And we recently met because we are both part of Lead Tribes. I just started the London chapter, and Amanda is in the Hamilton chapter.
That's right, the Hamilton chapter.
Amazing. Amazing. So, Amanda, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and kind of how did you get to own Hamilton Hypnosis? Like, is this something you always wanted to do? I'll give it to you.
So no, I it actually I laugh because when I first was introduced to hypnosis, I was a theater student at Brock University.
Cool. Okay.
I was a stressed out, overweight university student.
Okay.
And I had tried everything to lose weight. I did everything. I had every book under the sun. And at the time, there was no Ozempic or anything like that. This was like over 12, 13 years ago. And my mom said, "Why not try hypnosis?" And I was like, "What's that?" And she goes, "Well, let's find out." So she pretty much dragged me into Burlington Hypnosis. This was like 13 years ago.
Okay.
And I met the hypnotist who was running it, Robbie. She helped me lose 25 pounds in 3 months. So not only did I
Wow.
lose the weight, but I gained a ton of confidence. I was feeling like I was on top of the world. I felt amazing.
Yeah.
And then I decided I want to become a hypnotist too. And it was a great idea at the time, but I was also in university. I also wanted to travel the world. I wanted to do all
Yeah.
sorts of cool, amazing things. And I got into the office space and I was like, I don't know if I can work in an office. And decided to put that on hold. So for my 20s, I traveled the world. I lived in Australia. I lived in Ireland. I moved back home for a bit. I became a travel agent. I lived a lot of different lives,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. My 20s were pretty a lot of fun and a pretty cool experience, and then I hit 30. I was during COVID. I went through a breakup. I went through uh, really struggling financially, struggling in relationships, struggling in all areas of my life. And I knew I needed to make another change. So when I went back to hypnosis, I went back to Robbie. She was now the owner of Hypnosis Training Canada, and she was teaching people to become hypnotists. And I went, yeah, okay, let's give this a go a second time. And uh, did my first course, fell madly in love with hypnosis all over again, and just really wanted to help people the way it helped me
That's
many, many years earlier.
Amanda,
Um,
can I just cut you off there for a sec? I just want to mention, so when we chatted last week, I think I had just either just started or was about to just start this 30-day challenge with Evan Carmichael.
nice.
And Evan, in one of his, so if you, Evan Carmichael, it's called the Best Life 30. So you can sign up, you get a video series every single day. But one of the messages he said this week, and it's really funny that you say this, I'd love to hear more. Um,
Mhm,
if you help people with something you yourself were helped with,
mhm,
it does something inside of you.
mhm.
And so when you said like you kind of came full circle where you like you had this life altering experience, you went out, but then there you were back wanting to help people the way you were helped. There was just that sentence you said, and I was like, oh, tingles. Like so good.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Hypnosis Training Canada is that how it's created is that you're helping yourself. You come in with an outcome and you come in with something you want to change within yourself, and with that you're learning tools and techniques to help other people as well as helping yourself. So there's this energy exchange of helping yourself and helping others, and I think that's so important when it comes to the type of work that I do. Not only am I hypnosis certified, but I'm also an NLP practitioner. So
Okay.
it's working on, the more that I'm working on myself, the more that I'm moving through my own stuff to help other people as well. And the full circle moment is that I started working at Burlington Hypnosis, the very place that helped me 12, 13 years earlier.
So
And
cool.
so and then I started my own business, Truly Aligned Hypnosis, right after doing starting the program. And then about a few months ago, the director of Hamilton Hypnosis came up to me and was like, "Hey, I'm looking to do." She was looking to transition her and get into the Christian community. She was called to do work with the church, and she decided to give me Hamilton Hypnosis. So here I am running now Hamilton Hypnosis, and I'm so grateful. I'm so happy to be running this business in Hamilton, Ontario. I love the city.
Yeah,
It truly is home. It's become home for me. So to help the community is truly a gift.
I love that. And I definitely, that resonates so much. And I think having that pride in your city, I feel the same way with London. Um,
Mhm.
but I mean, having that pride when it wasn't your city to begin with is just even more beautiful, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And wherever you go, you can really make it home if you choose.
For
So
sure.
Hamilton's
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
That is actually that's a soundbite if I ever heard one. That's so good. Um, the question for you. So I know people are probably asking. So when you first went and you went in for hypnosis, and for you it was something you were struggling with weight loss. What was
Mhm.
it in the hypnosis that helped? Like, was it a different way of framing how you thought? Was it a movement thing? Was it an eating thing? All of the above? Like, what was it that the actual hypnosis did to help you with what you couldn't help with before?
Great question. So at the end of the day, we are all in patterns.
Okay.
So we are at the end of the day when it comes to anything really. So we can blame the eating, we can blame the smoking, but at the end of the day, it's not like we're waking up every day going, "I'm going to have a cigarette and smoke myself to death," or "I'm going to eat
Yeah.
myself to death today." No,
Yeah.
it's not how it works. It's our subconscious mind has been programmed in a certain way from a certain age to be in certain patterns. So at the end of the day, it's the pattern that you are in. And and I'll even show you a little bit of what we do is,
Yeah.
so Krystal, I'm going to get you to, and if everybody
Uh-oh.
who's listening wants to play along, so if you were to point at the wall in front of you and say, "It's all your fault."
Right now,
Mhm.
it's all your fault.
Awesome. "I'll do anything for you.
I'll do anything for you.
If I can analyze this."
If I can analyze this.
And this one's a fun one. I think you're going to like this one. Just dancing.
I do like this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are four coping stances, and these coping stances were created by a famous family therapist. Her name is Dr. Virginia Satir. You can look her up, and she's got
Okay.
many books as well as videos on YouTube.
Okay.
And she tells this story that there are four people in a boat. The boat has a hole in it, and the boat is sinking.
Okay.
And you've got the blamer going, "Who put the hole in the boat?" And you've got the pleaser going, "I'll swim to shore so the boat won't sink so fast." You've
Okay.
got the computer going, "This boat's going to sink in 4.5 seconds." And then you've got the distractor going, "Look, there's a bird." But no one's solving the problem of the hole in the boat.
Okay.
And when people come to us, when it comes to anything from weight loss to stop smoking to stress management to fears to even like habits like skin picking or nail biting, that they're in one or more of these coping stances.
Okay.
And a lot of the times when it comes to, and there's patterns that we see often, especially when it comes to weight loss. I see a lot of people that are people pleasers, that they're trying to please everybody around them. They're putting themselves last on the list. So they're making sure they're either the person that fixes everything, they're the person that everybody relies on to fix things for them. They're the ones that are doing everything for everyone. They're exhausted, they're maybe in overwhelm, and they're distracting by eating food.
Okay.
or they're getting really in their heads. They're computing and overthinking and overanalyzing, and they have 150 books in front of them, but they're not processing their emotions. It's almost like they're emotionally constipated.
Okay.
And instead of doing what they need to do, they're getting in their head about it and they're distracting with food.
Okay.
Even people like that are stressed out, they're usually putting a lot of pressure. They're not blaming other people, but they're blaming themselves. They're putting so much pressure on themselves that they find themselves doing all sorts of wonky things, whether it is smoking, whether it is overeating, that type of thing. So these are just patterns that we are doing every single day, and it's getting out of those patterns so that you can achieve your outcomes.
And that's really interesting because I mean, you have an actual like solid in your mind. Like people can say something doesn't work, but it did work for you in 3 months, right? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's different for everybody. For me, I was young, and I was more like it worked very quickly. But I've seen every person come in, and everybody has their own unique experience. Some people it does take some more time. Some people it takes time for them to really learn and process things, where other people's just pick
Sure.
it up and go. It just depends on the person at the end of the day, and it's
Yeah.
going with the pace of the person.
So here's what I'm going to ask because I think a lot of people are like me, and my entire experience of hypnosis is from like the movies where, or
Mhm.
like a cartoon where someone's like, watch the circle, and then all of a sudden, like you
Mhm.
snap your finger and like someone starts chirping like a bird. So that honestly, and this is where like I love being transparent about that because that's what I know about hypnosis. But then the dissonance meeting you is that you're not obviously doing that. So what is hypnosis?
What is hypnosis? So, a
Yeah.
lot of hypnosis is all about fixation and suggestibility
Okay.
and repetition.
Okay.
So, what we're doing is we're getting people into a more relaxed state
Okay.
so that they're more susceptible to suggestion.
Okay.
And we're repeating certain things over and over again so that it's going into the subconscious mind.
Okay. So it's like a fast track to the subconscious.
Yeah, and we experience these type of things every day. People think it's this magical woo-woo thing, but really, if you think about it, like if you go to the movies and you're
Yeah.
watching a movie and you laugh when it's funny and you cry when it's sad. It's not like somebody's up at the front going, "You should cry now, you should laugh now." That would be that would be ridiculous. We
Weird.
just
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like we get the suggestion that something's funny and we laugh or we cry.
Yeah.
Same thing when it comes to driving. If we're driving our car and we park and we don't remember the last 5, 6, 7 blocks because we've done it so often. It's not like our brain goes block, 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 block. No,
Yeah.
that'd be also very weird. We just know physically how to get home.
Which is
We
actually
don't.
scary sometimes when you actually think about like, especially if you're listening to something or a song, and then you're just like, how did I get home? You know?
Yeah. But it's also a level of trust as well,
Yes.
too. It's trusting we have that system in place just to
Yes.
simply physically know where we're going. Even if you look at the media does it all the time. Like who makes pumpkin spice lattes?
Starbucks.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't go to
Right?
Starbucks, but I know that that's where they are.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing too, is that 9 out of 10 people will say Starbucks because it's every August. It's like
Yes.
we smell the smell in the air, and we
Yeah.
just know that Starbucks is going to start their pumpkin spice latte woo woo thing that they do
Yeah.
around that time. We just know
Yeah.
it's not something that it's not something that we need to remind ourselves of. We see this,
It's
we
in
see
there.
hypnosis every single day, and it's
This
a
is
very
actually
normal thing.
it's really cool actually that you said about the subconscious because I know I was doing, as you get to know me, I do a lot of different challenges. But I was doing the Thinking into Results program with Bob Proctor, and
Mhm.
they talk about how things will go into our subconscious by accident, right? So like that's why like if people hang out all the time, they start doing acting the same, talking the same, all of that.
Mhm.
So this is almost like a fast track to that where you're
Mhm.
intentionally putting the things that you want into your subconscious versus having to
Mhm.
take months and months to hope it gets in. Maybe is that, am I understanding that?
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, yeah, it can be a fast track to really being able to reprogram your mind. And it's even with the NLP that the neuro linguistics programming, how that
Yeah.
works is that we help you reprogram your mind with tools and techniques, because at the end of the day, humans learn best through experiences.
Yeah.
And this is why this type of work works so well, is because a lot of the times when people are just talking to each other, they're just having a conversation, and there could be things here and there, and some people will do really well with conversations and
Yeah.
can really pick things up. But a lot of the people that if they want to really make change in their life, they need to have that experience. So
Okay.
it's that aha moment, and we help people have
Yeah.
experiences so that they're really able to make the changes they need to make in their lives.
Oh, I love that. And I'm all about the aha moment. I find like I'm a slow burn with things, and then when I get it, I get it and it's done. Like it's very cool. Not everyone's
Yeah.
like that, but some people can change a little faster. But um,
Hmm.
I love that you mentioned the aha moment. So
Hmm.
so we've talked about things like smoking and weight loss. If someone needed to come to you and they were an entrepreneur, let's say they wanted to be um they wanted more success, they want confidence, whatever it is, what do you
Hmm.
do if someone who's a business owner comes to you? Like how does that intake look, and how can you potentially help people?
Yeah, so we would look at the coping stances. We would see what are the patterns at the end of the day? What is it that's holding them back from success? What is
Okay.
it that's causing them to not have the success? Because the truth is, if they knew, if they didn't have they wouldn't be coming to me, first of all. So it's looking at what is it that needs to really change in order for you to be successful. And it's not just with entrepreneurs, it's with everybody. Because if we knew, we'd just go out and do it. But it's what's holding you back. What's the pattern that is causing you to sabotage yourself over and over and over again?
Right.
And what is it that you need to do in order for you to make the changes? And how serious are you about making this change? Because a lot of people will say, I want to make the change, but they don't do what they need to do in order to do it. Or,
Yeah.
it's like giving somebody a gift, and it's like, here's the gift.
Yeah.
And some people will take it, some people will push it away. It just depends at the end of the day. How badly do you want to change? How
I
much?
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I was going to say how much, and it's how uncomfortable are you in order for you to make a change in your life? If you're not
Yes.
uncomfortable, then what's the point, right?
Absolutely. Like you and I chatted, I think I mentioned, um, I talk about him all the time, so I probably did. What Tony with Tony Robbins, like he has a program called Personal Power 2. And I was very, very blessed that my dad gave it to me when I was 22. And he has tried to give it to both of my other siblings. But for me, it just landed. It was the right time, right place. And one of the things in that program is that pain versus like the carrot or the stick, like what is in that moment, what is more painful? Is it the thing that you want to change, or is it what you have to do to make the change? And oftentimes someone will say, like, I think the example was like, I want to lose weight, but
Hmm.
I want that cake. And
Hmm.
so in that moment, was it more painful to avoid having the cake, or was it more painful to have the weight? And it's like a series of moments, and it's just kind of a generalized thing, but it is true. Like if you really want something, if you go back,
Hmm.
if you really, 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 there's nothing hold like that's what you want. You Most people will just do whatever it takes to get it,
Hmm.
unless there's something in
Yeah.
the way, right?
One of my favorite Tony Robbins stories that he tells is he had a woman on stage, and she was vegan, and she had health issues, and she had like a sugar addiction, and she was diabetic.
Okay.
And she wouldn't budge. Like, she was like, I love my sugar, I love my sugar, I love my sugar.
Yeah.
And it was like, and he was trying to like get her into the pain of the problem of like, hey, if you don't change this, and she was like, no, I'm not ready to give that up, I'm not ready to give it up. And the one thing he said was, well, it would be really unfortunate if you passed away and you left your daughter. And she goes, oh, my daughter will be fine. And then he goes, well, it would be really unfortunate if your husband remarried a woman that was a meat eater and made her eat meat. And that was the thing that just took her
No.
over the edge. And she was like, my daughter's not eating meat. Like, and it was, at the end of the day, it's what is that thing?
What's the
Where do
trigger?
you have to
Yes.
go? Where's the trigger for you? What's going to make you change? What is that one thing where it's like, and allow
Yeah.
yourself to go there, because if you want to change so badly, you will change. You will find that thing.
Okay, that's amazing. Because it's like your own
Yeah.
death is not enough, but
Yeah.
under no circumstances will my dog eat me.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I've had clients like that where in everybody's, and there's no wrong way of living
No.
life. There's no bad or good. It's just simply people being people. And that's the beautiful thing
Yeah.
about what I do is I get to see people in their most beautiful, raw, real, authentic form. And it's totally okay to be however you are.
Yes.
But it really, I've had clients where they wouldn't budge, and watching them change and watching them have that aha moment is it is the most rewarding moment, because you know that they're going to change for the better, and that
Oh,
they're, yeah, and they're going after their
I bet you love
dreams.
it.
So
Oh,
yeah.
and yeah, no, you can see in your face like how much you absolutely love it. So if you guys are listening to the audio, know that Amanda's like glowing right now as she talks about helping people. I mean, but
Yeah.
that's the dream, right? Like when you get to live your dream like that, and every day you're helping people, in your unique way.
Yeah, and it's I feel like it's all entrepreneurs to some degree.
Yes.
We start our own businesses, not just for our own sense of freedom, but to really be able to give back.
Yeah.
And
One is
not only give back to the community, give back
yes.
to others. It's in being a part of Lead Tribes is a really beautiful place, because even Linda, who started the Lead Tribes, she's all about giving back. And if I've learned anything, it's, how important that is. So,
100%. And it's funny that you say with entrepreneurs, I'm sure this will resonate with everyone. So a
mhm,
lot of us, we go into the world of entrepreneurship because we don't want to have a boss. And then what
very
happens
true.
is we end
Mhm.
up with like somewhere between 20 and 100 bosses. So all of a sudden, yeah, your boss isn't telling you anything, but your clients might. Right? Your clients, this is what they can do, and you want to serve them. So you're like, okay, well, then that's what I'm doing. And so sometimes it's like, yeah, you get the freedom, but it's more the freedom to choose your business, to choose your clients, to choose how you're going to do that. But it's not
Mhm.
like a magic switch. Like you have to build it.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah, and it's, the more that I've noticed too, the more that you give back, the more that you receive.
So much.
And it's really cool to really see that and really be a part of so many people's lives, especially entrepreneurs. I love working with entrepreneurs because you see them give so much, and to help them be able to receive is a
Yeah.
really cool experience.
I think at the core of it, and I don't know if you agree, but I think the core with being an entrepreneur, we all want to impact the world and
Mhm.
the community in some way, in our unique way. We want that to be authentic. But oftentimes, like when we're like, if we're doing charity work, if we're volunteering, if we're mentoring, whatever it is, I think it's like a piece of that is wanting to like do more than just us, right? Like
Mhm.
my success is great, but I want the success of my fellow person, of my fellow community member. And I think that's what
Mhm.
makes it beautiful, right? Because that's community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it really is about being a part of community, and I see a lot of sense of the feeling of belonging, and being a part
Yes.
of something bigger than ourselves is
Yes.
always, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so we talked about like why people would come to you. What does that initial experience look like? So do they reach out and they do like is it an intake call? Do they is it a form? Like what is that first step for someone to come work with you?
So at the end of the day, it's always we do I do a free screening. So I screen every single one of my clients because at the end of the day, I want to make sure this is a good fit for the person that wants to make a change. Some people aren't ready to make the change,
Okay.
and that's okay. Sometimes it's not a right fit. And as somebody who's been doing this for a while, I've had the experience of bringing people on where it wasn't a good fit and it just doesn't work out. So what we do is we put them through a process where, excuse me, they we really see if they're willing to make the change. What is it that they really want at the end of the day? We discuss the coping stances and some of the things that, the ways that we can help them change in order for them to grow. Because at the end of the day, as well, all hypnosis is self hypnosis. I'm just a guide guiding people through the experience. So when sometimes people come in and think I'm a magic wand and I'll go bippity boppity boo. And if I were a magician, I'd be in a very different very
Okay.
different career. I'd have people down the road like
You'd have a
yeah,
hat and a rabbit, the
I'd
whole
have a
thing.
hat, I'd have the whole, but
Yeah.
unfortunately I don't have that. So it's really getting people to understand what hypnosis really is about and what it
Yes.
can do for you. And that it is a process. It is not it's not a magic wand. It's not Ozempic. And
Yeah.
it can, but it can, the biggest thing is with hypnosis, it's lasting change.
Okay. And so
When
13
you
years later, you have like you have it. Have you had to go back and change your patterns or it's like that locked in?
that pretty much locked in for the most part.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, I've had my ups and downs like any other person, but I've had the tools to be able to get myself to where I need to be.
And I think that's really cool because I think we have we're in a world that tends to very easily take our money for a quick fix option.
Hmm.
And I love that this is something where you can invest your time. Um,
Hmm.
and you do have to invest your time, right? You have to be committed to go alongside with you.
Hmm.
Um, but it's a lot, it is lasting. And I think that's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, and that's the thing where we do live in a world that's very instant. It's because we have AI now. We've got the
Oh,
internet. We've got cell phones. We've got everything at our fingertips.
yeah.
We can just Google anything and we can order things online and Amazon brings it within 24 hours. And the thing is, that's not real life. That's not, it is to some degree now, yes. But when it comes to everything else, when it comes to humans ourselves, we do not move as fast as the internet. We do not move as fast as AI and all these technologies, and we never will.
Yeah.
So it's understanding that as well, that we move at a slower pace, and that for us, sometimes some people move really slow and some people move faster. There's no right or wrong. It just simply is. And it's giving ourselves the grace to be able to move through that. But as well, quick fixes, they're quick, but they're not lasting.
Yeah.
So it's having that lasting change where you're 15, you're 20, you're 30 years down the road, and even if things do go sideways because life happens, you have the tools and techniques to help you out along the way, and you
For sure.
have the service as well.
Yes, and I think what happens a lot of the times I see it with our kids, but I even see it with like sometimes in myself. I'm a little bit more of a learning nerd, so I have a bit more patience for it. But even with friends and colleagues and family, like if something's taking too long to learn,
Hmm.
or like you can't learn to like play the guitar in a week,
Hmm.
guitar goes away. And I find that like that because and maybe I think something just clicked with me, we're used to things going so quickly and
Hmm.
we're used to like just being like, okay, I want this, here it is, that patience piece is really falling to the side.
Hmm.
You notice
and
that?
it and I've noticed that with people who are, I'll call more freedom minded. So people who are entrepreneurs, they're more what I call freedom minded type of folk.
More
So they're the
special.
type of So they're the type of folk that, they like to work for themselves. They don't necessarily, and part of that is because they don't necessarily like to follow the rules. They like to create their own. They may be a little bit of a rule breaker, and they're usually pick up things pretty quickly, and they're pretty fast, and they'll run with things. And sometimes what happens is with these types of people, especially entrepreneurs, that if they're not picking up something as quickly as they're used to, or something's a bit of a challenge, they'll find themselves distracting.
Interesting. I feel seen right now, by the way.
And a lot of the times too, especially when it comes to other people and entrepreneurs, I see this a lot where they're the people pleasers. They're the ones trying to please other people. They're trying to do everything for everyone. Maybe they're last on the list. They're the ones fixing. And when they can't fix something, when things don't go as quickly as planned, then they're distracting with whether it's I've seen it all, whether it's drinking, whether it's eating, whether it's smoking. I see a lot of the times in entrepreneurs that with sweet tooths, they
Yep.
like their sugar, and a lot of the times it's because they're looking and they're seeking that adventure and that fun.
Yeah.
And it's getting them to really have the tools and techniques to stay focused, to be able to
Yeah.
slow things down at a slower pace. Because a lot of the times, as well, with entrepreneurs, that they're in fifth gear, that they're like go 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 driving 180 down the highway.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when you drive 180 down the highway, you're either going to crash the car or you're going
Yeah.
to get stopped by the cops.
100%.
Neither are good. So it's getting entrepreneurs to really slow down, breathe, and see things from that lens of slowing down, and knowing that you can get more done when you're breathing, when you're slowing things down, when you're taking one step at a time rather than, jumping up the stairs. You can walk up the
Yes.
stairs too.
No, what?
So, yeah, I
Um,
know.
I think what I mean, and oftentimes we talk about burnout, and the
Mhm.
recommendation all the time is like take a vacation, take a vacation. Now, the reality is there are some people in at this point in their careers, a vacation's not in the cards. It's just not
Mm,
able to. So, do you have suggestions for people um, in order to slow down? Because I think getting to the point where they're ready to make a change with you is
mhm,
important, but to slow
mhm,
down, is it something as simple as like meditating? Is it taking a day off? And I mean, guys, like you can put your phone down, you can say you're in other appointments, no one will know. Um,
yeah.
what do you think the best thing to do is if someone needs to slow down and they're just not able to figure it out?
So what happens is, and I even made a really cool post the other day, is that when you don't slow down, the universe force like chooses when you slow down, or
Yes,
your body does. So
yes,
it's like these high highs, low lows, high highs, lows, lows, and it's just this, you're
yeah,
chasing the highs and then you're like forced down. And I've seen this even with, so I had an entrepreneur last week, and because she was so go 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 go, she ended up getting really sick and was off work for 3 days with a migraine and couldn't get out of bed. And that's the reality is that if you don't choose to take breaks, your body will choose for you.
I find
So
it always
it's
frustrating when like someone as like experienced and educated as yourself says something that my mom said to me since I was like, I'm just like, okay, mom,
how dare
you know,
she?
I,
She must have
no,
known something.
yeah, that was always like, you need to take a break, otherwise your body will force it. And then so I'm gonna have to let her know that I'm like, I just had an amazing conversation with a professional, and you
Mhm.
were right. She loves hearing it too.
Yeah, and it's scheduling in those periods of time.
Yeah,
So we have this professional saying, I hope it's okay to swear on here, but we
yeah,
professionally say at the fuck it moments, the fuck it times where you say fuck it and you're off for an hour or you're off for 40 minutes or you're off for 30 minutes and you're taking these breaks throughout the day to really be able to do what you need to do. And maybe it is a meditation.
yeah,
Maybe it is going to a yoga class.
yeah.
Maybe it is, and these are non negotiables. So, personally, for myself, my non negotiable is I have to work out every single day
Love it.
or I don't sleep. One thing I learned about myself is I am like a golden retriever puppy. If I don't get my workouts in,
Yeah,
like, I'm not sleeping. So, what I had to do is I had to strategically plan when I'm working out and the amount of movement, because the other thing is with entrepreneurs, especially if they're stationary and they're sitting all
Yes.
day, like they don't realize how long they're sitting until, and it's keeping yourself accountable to that, making sure that you're moving your body, you're doing the workouts, not just the any workout, but a workout that you actually enjoy.
Yes.
Maybe it's yoga, maybe it's Pilates. And I remember the last conversation we had, it's our bodies are forever changing, right? Where you used to do a lot of hit and now you're doing more yoga because
Yeah. And
that's what your
walking.
body, walking, because that's what your body needs,
Yeah.
and really giving your body what it needs so that you're able to get your needs met at the end of the day. Because as humans, like sleep, food, water, shelter, but most importantly, we forget this one a lot, connection. These are human needs, and they all need to get met to some degree. So it's where are you getting your needs met?
Oh, I love that so much. And
Hmm.
I think the thing too is, and I mean, I know for me, I mentioned to you when we had our meeting. So last week, I took a page from Evan Carmichael, who had learned this from Tony Robbins, and I pulled out the stand-up desk that I got from my husband. I grabbed a trampoline from my garage, and I'm having a lot of meetings now, not these, because I think it would drive people crazy to watch me bounce around on an interview, but I'm having a lot of meetings on my trampoline because that's just to that point. I was like just sitting a lot, and found my energy was not great. Um,
Hmm.
but I also find I like that you said that you strategically get your workouts in. I'm the same way, except that I would just work, and then come 11:15, I'm like, oh, I need to do a workout. So then I'm doing my workout at like 11:15 at night. I roll into bed at 2 a.m. And then what do you think my next day feels like? Not great.
Yeah, and it's planning them. It's
Yeah.
strategically planning where you are putting them. So it's like, you could do that and you could like fall asleep at 3 a.m. and wake up at 6, 7 a.m. You've got and that's not getting your needs met.
No.
So, how can you structure your day where you're getting your needs met as well as getting the work done that needs to be done? And
Absolutely.
giving yourself the grace as well, because
Yeah,
sometimes we see the list and we get a little, we're overachievers, a lot of us, and
we
we go,
are.
we can do it all. And the truth is, as humans, we just can't. So, it's really being able to be real with ourselves. And this is what we do as hypnotists is we're real with our clients, because
Yeah.
sometimes you can't read the label when you're in the bottle. So it's
Yeah.
helping people read their own label and be like, hey, this is what needs to change and this is what needs to happen. And these are the tools and techniques to use in order for you to really help yourself change.
That analogy is awesome. And a little bit easier to understand than the one I used to say, like, you can't see the forest for the trees. Like, you're surrounded
Hmm.
by trees, but you're in a forest. You just don't know. You
Hmm.
can't read the label from inside the bottle. That's awesome. Um, I find too that a lot of times, like for me specifically, I'll go all day. And I've been building in little times, whether it's to like play guitar, whether it's to crochet, because I'm 97 years old. I love crocheting. But I'm building those times in because if I don't, then I find what happens is I go to bed wide awake. I'm like, you know what? Just gonna watch a few things. And then I'm like
Hmm.
stealing time from my own sleep because I
Hmm.
haven't had time for me all day.
Yeah. And so what you're learning about yourself, this is even more important,
Yeah.
especially for yourself, to really be able to give yourself what you need.
Yeah.
And you're seeing examples of this over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because if you're not if you're not shutting off, if you're not getting your needs met, taking the time for you, then you're sacrificing your sleep.
Yeah.
And I see this over and over and over again, especially with entrepreneurs as well, is that they don't know how to shut off their brain,
Yeah.
and it's helping them be able to shut off their brain, get better sleep, and be able to. And when we get better sleep, we can think better, we feel better, we do more throughout the day. There's more of us to, in a lot of sense, to give,
Yeah.
and and it's easier to receive as well.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of times, like, especially when we're always caring for other people, the sleep piece can also can fall to the side.
Mhm.
Do you find like if you do like a before and after with people when you've had sessions with them, like how many sessions do people usually come in for, or does it vary?
It depends on the client at the end of the day, and every client's different.
Okay.
So whatever the client, it's at the end of the day, it's what every client needs.
Is there like minimum and maximum? Like, would you say like, can someone come in for one session and that's it, or is it
So
rare?
this is why we do programs, because with
Okay,
programs it's like I back in the day, this was before my time, it was like we can cure you in one session. And
that's what I saw in the movies.
yeah, I mean, once again, if I could do that, then, and some people do change
Yeah.
significantly after one session, that's great, but that's not most people.
Okay.
Most people, this is about the experience of, and this is over time. It's not like you learn math in one day.
Right.
It takes
That patience you
repetition.
need. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's being patient with yourself, being patient with others. And it depends on the person at the end of the day. And everybody goes at their own pace, and that's totally okay.
What are the programs like? Like, what
So
programs are there?
So we have many different programs. So we have the stress management program.
Okay.
We've got weight loss programs, or stop smoking programs. Those are our main three, but we cater them to the person.
Nice. Okay. So it's like you have
So
set.
it's yeah. So
Nice.
we customize every program to our client,
That's awesome.
and
Okay.
yeah, because it's about the client at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay. So this is, I told you I was going to go fast. We're But so here's my question for you. So if you were speaking to yourself as a young entrepreneur, knowing the lessons you've learned up to this point, what are some things that you wish someone had told you at the beginning that would have made your journey a little bit easier?
Mm, listen to your mentor. That's one of them. When there are people, a lot of the times you're going to have people in your life that you've had in your life your whole life. Your mom, your dad, your siblings, maybe friends, and they're all well-meaning at the end of the day.
Okay.
They're all, yeah, well, most of them are, I'd hope. But you really want to look at where you want to go in your life. Well, who do you want to become? And really ask yourself the question of what identity do I need to be in order to achieve that goal? Because our
Okay.
personality is our personal reality, it's flexible.
So who do I need to become to achieve
Mhm.
what I want to achieve?
Yeah, there's a movie called Hitch, and there's a
Yeah.
scene where uh, Hitch goes to the main character and he goes, you know, you are a flexible concept, he says, because this guy's trying to go back to his old ways of being frumpy, and he's like, well, if you want to be frumpy, you're not going to get the girl. But if you really, if you change, then you're going to get what you want.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, especially in where we live in Southern Ontario, we feel like our personality is set.
Yeah.
And I see this a lot over and over and over again, is that this is just who I am. I and people don't believe that they can change. They think that this is who they are, and that's just
Yeah.
what it's meant to be. And the truth is that we are a flexible concept. If you really want something different, then you can change that thing. You can become whoever you want to be,
Yeah.
truly.
I think there's a quote I want to say is from Les Brown. I think it's from Les Brown, but if you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done, which
Mhm.
was translated into doing the things you're doing today are not going to get you the things that are different than you have today.
Yeah. And being patient with yourself too, because sometimes when we're doing something new, it can be, even if we are doing something different and maybe we're getting the same results or we're not getting the results that other people are getting, it's being patient and giving yourself grace because it takes time.
Yeah.
And we are AI, we are not the internet.
Yeah.
And we have to really give ourselves the grace in order for us to really change. And we're going to change. It's just consistency, repetition,
Yeah.
time.
And I have to say, and like, thank you so much for taking the time today because I think a lot of what you're saying, like, yes, guys, like 100% go and see Amanda because she's amazing. Even just for that intake call to find out, or that is it an intake? What is
Yeah,
it?
so it's a free screening. So I do a free
Yeah.
screening with every person that wants to make a change. So if somebody wants to book a free screening, they're more than welcome to.
And what is the best way for someone to get in touch with you for either that free screening, to ask questions, whatever it is?
Yeah, so my website is www.hamiltonhypnosis, or you
Okay.
can also look up Hamilton Hypnosis Center, and you'll be able to book a free screening via my website. You can also email me as well at hamiltonhypnosisstaff@gmail.com.
Amazing. Um, and if someone doesn't do anything else but listen to this today, so they're not ready to go forward, what are a couple of things that you would suggest someone could do to change the trajectory of where they're going today, like right now, even a small change?
So, it's so interesting because I just did this with myself, like right before the call, and I asked myself, if I were to choose, if I were the person that had the seven-figure business, if I were the person that, and asking more clients this, if you were the person that had the dream relationship, or if you're the person that had the dream car or the dream life, what would you be doing? What
Okay.
actions would you be taking? What would, like, how would you be moving in the world? How would you be interacting with people? How would you be thinking about yourself?
Okay.
What beliefs would you have? And how can you start doing those right now?
Ooh, okay. I like
Hmm.
that. So really like act as if, but on a
That's
deeper
right.
level. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Hmm.
So good. Um, so guys, Amanda mentioned it at the very beginning, but we're both part of something called Lead Tribes. So if you're listening and you are in a community for now in Southwestern Ontario, hopefully it's going to grow even bigger. But check out www.leadtribes.com. It is a fantastic organization. Basically, we are a bunch of go-getters, entrepreneurs. We're divided into, I think, I want to say 10, maybe 11 groups now in different
Something
cities.
like that, yeah.
So we're all connected together. And so, because of that, Amanda and I got to have this great conversation last week. And now she gets to share with all of you. So it's very exciting. Before we go, Amanda, is there anything else you wanted to share?
I know. I think we covered everything. I'm just, you know what? Thank you for having me on your podcast. This was an amazing conversation. And I'm definitely check out Lead Tribes if you're an entrepreneur in Ontario. We're going to be expanding for sure in the
Yeah.
future. And so keep an eye out. And yeah,
Amazing. Well, Amanda, thank you so much for joining us today. This was fabulous. And guys, thank you for listening. As always, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. And we always appreciate likes, follows, and shares. This is Krystal Lee Moore Lucier, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor. Krystal Lee Moore, thank you for that. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.